Some of it was with words. Some of it was with action. But the message from the Warriors was, yeah, we might keep him. Might keep him. And I wonder how that lands with the fan base, because we've been operating, let's be honest, all of us, we've been operating in such a way, at least for the last couple of months. And I know that all the emotions around the Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga and everything will spill over from the last couple of years. But in many ways, we have arrived at what people have long said is the reason why Jonathan is not a fit. Jonathan wasn't a fit because why? He was a project, right? Somebody who needed minutes. He needed time. But the Warriors can't offer that because they're championship contenders.
Right.
Well, guess what? Now you just, unfortunately, arrived at exactly what everyone has always said is what not just Jonathan, any young player comes into the league 19 years old and raw. What do they need? Well, they need minutes, and they preferably would like those minutes in a place that is not overly pressurized about winning. Well, here we are. Here we are.
Probably not over-pressurized as far as winning, other than you want to maximize the Steph Curry window. And even when Jimmy was here, you still weren't really in an overly pressurized environment as far as winning goes. You had a better chance to win with Jimmy Butler. I think we can all admit that. But as it is now, without Jimmy Butler, it also opens up that spot. They play the same position, and that's what Steve Kerr will say today at 4:30 when he joins us. We ask him about Kuminga now playing. He'll say, well, Jimmy was kind of in his way because they play the same spot, and now he's not in his way anymore. But you're right, younger players, if you're not in that spot of we have to try to win right now, well, now you have a little bit more rope to go out there and give a guy some time to play.
Yep, and again, to me, this is not about the Warriors and Kuminga, quote-unquote, working. I think it's been some time now that the Warriors have viewed Jonathan Kuminga not so much as a player, but as an asset. And I know that ruffles some feathers. I get it. I don't think it's ever fun when human beings are referred to as something that feels robotic. But in the world of sports, I mean, it used to catch my ear when I was working down in San Diego. A.J. Preller would literally never use someone's name. It was either the player or the asset. That's what he would call him.
Right.
The asset.
Not the player. Like, he would never say the name. He would say the player or the asset.
Or the asset. And
Wow.
it's like, dude, it really rubs you the wrong way when you hear that. But it is how some sports franchises, quite frankly, all of them to a degree, it is how they operate. This is very, very cutthroat. And in this moment, with this sort of reality that's unfolded, I don't think it's crazy for the Warriors to try to shine up the asset. And you got 30 games, which I very much think would shine up the asset. I don't know how Jonathan and his agent would feel if they're still on the team February 6th. But
right. I wonder how they would feel about, being a shiny asset now down the stretch and knowing full well that the team still has his control and he's already made his demand to be traded. And you played the cut from Mike Dunleavy where, you can have a demand, but if there's no demand, then what are we even really demanding here? And so that was a little bit of a backhanded shot at Kuminga and the fact that he's saying, Dunleavy, that there isn't great demand out there. So can the demand go up in the next 2 weeks? I guess. And deadlines always spur action.
For sure.
And if you're a team, one of the other 29 teams, I believe you already know how you feel about Kuminga. So the demand, for me, only goes up as you get closer to the deadline if you realize that you might be able to get him at a price that fits you, the acquiring team.
some of it was with words, some of it was with action, but the message from the Warriors was, yeah, we might keep him. Might keep him. And I wonder how that lands with the fan base, because we've been operating, let's be honest, all of us, we've been operating in such a way, at least for the last couple of months, as the longest this could possibly go would be the first week of February. I don't think that's the case anymore, and I wonder if Warrior fans can wrap their head around that. There's no appetite for tanking whatsoever, and quite frankly, it's too late. You've won too many basketball games already, but I think it's funny when people go, God, you need to get Steph help. You need to this. Everything is about Steph Curry. You owe him the world. And then in the next sentence, we're going to talk about tanking. Yeah, go ahead, pitch that to Steph. Hey, Steph, I know you're 37 years old.
Right.
But let's tank. And who knows, maybe the little ballsies will bounce our way, and we'll get some 19-year-old this fall when you're 38 years old and about to turn 39, and he'll help you right away. Come on.
It is a great draft, though, but last year is not the model for tanking because Dallas had a 1.8% chance of landing the number one pick, and so they got incredibly, almost historically lucky in the lottery. So if you really want to tank and play the odds game, you need to be a bottom 3 team. And right now, Washington is 10-32, and you're 25-20. So you'd have to lose all the games.
All of them.
And even if you lost all the games, I still don't think you'd be in that category. So for one, Joe Lacob, I don't believe will ever tank because he's not cut out to do that. And two, it is too late at 25-20 for you to go that route.
Yeah, it's just not the vibe of this whole thing. I mean, that's just not it. Yeah, like I get it, but it's just not where the Warriors are at. It's funny. The urgency of this year might be gone because of the loss of Jimmy Butler, but the urgency of the organization I don't think is. Like tanking is synonymous with a full-blown rebuild. And this team, again, whether it's the right move or not, I can't tell you, but they are obsessively urgent about Steph Curry as he approaches age 40. So tanking just doesn't go with that.
No, and just looking at the draft upcoming, Oklahoma City, they have 3 picks.
I know.
And they don't have their own. So their own pick right now is dead last. They give that one away, but they get 3 others back.
Sam Presti's been brilliant.
Right.
He's just been brilliant. They've acquired the picks. They've hit on the picks. They've signed the right people. They've made the right trades. He's been brilliant. He's been brilliant, and now this is what you get. What you get is like you get to be the best team in the league now for a little while.
For a long time.
In the middle of America.
And you got these 3 picks next year that you can package at this deadline to maybe, get even better in the short term.
And they're going to need them, by the way, because of the stupid rules that are in place because of the Warriors, by the way. They're going to have a hard time keeping this core together when it's time for all of them to be re-signed. I guess here's how I'd put it. With the whole idea of him being traded on February 5th, I think Jonathan and the agent are now the ones who are freaking out a little bit about how this is going to go, not the other way around. I think there have been moments in the past where the Warriors have been a little bit worried about asset management, their roster. What are they getting for their $22.5 million? We're trying to win here. Steph Curry, this might be his, third to last year or whatever. We've got to do this. And so there was some tension there. I think the tension right now is in the room with Jonathan Kuminga and Aaron Turner because they are keenly aware that it is a real possibility that they don't get dealt. And I think that worries them.
For sure. And I do think that the only reason why they eventually signed the 1+1 contract was with the hope that they would be dealt after January 15th and before the deadline. Because if they went qualifying offer for 7.9, they probably wouldn't have been traded because that's not enough money to get back. Even if you get the full 7.9 back, the Warriors wouldn't be that interested in trading him to get that kind of player. But for $22.5 million, the Warriors are motivated to get a player back who makes that. But now that Jimmy is out, that changes the calculus of everything because now the Warriors, they've shown early. I'm liking it early. 1 game in, they're going to play Kuminga.
Oh, man.
So if Kuminga plays, does that change his tune about wanting to be elsewhere?
And again, it comes at, and this has to be part of the conversation, it comes at a very, very low leveraged moment. Jonathan played great. He comes in when the Warriors are down by 20. You cut it to 9. Awesome. I give him all the credit in the world. But that's the messaging. A lot of people are like, play Jonathan. And the Warriors are like, but we're trying to win. Well, when you're down 30 in the second half, I think you've kind of given up on the idea of trying to win. So it's like, well, let's see Jonathan. And then he goes out and he looks great. And honestly, that's the best you can do right now. I don't really see the Warriors as being some sort of like the fairy tale of Jonathan joins the starting lineup and poof, like, wow, they're amazing.
That's
and they fired up to the 5 seed. But like just minutes, play well, raise the value if you can, and reassess. Unless there's something on the table in the last 2 weeks that we don't know about, but it sure doesn't sound like it.
Well, I mean, there probably isn't something on the table other than Jonathan. He's on the table, and I don't think that there's any team out there that is thinking, well, he's got to be off the market now. I mean, he played 20 minutes and he played pretty well, so they're not going to trade him now. I think maybe the Warriors are thinking, we're just going to play him because we need him, and we're going to play him because if he plays well, maybe it piques the interest of another team.
I mean, it's just kind of like, let's see what happens mode.
Right. The only bad thing that could happen, we won't speak of because it happens to athletes and you play sports and things can happen. But beyond that, I don't think that his value can go down per se.